Thanks for joining us. In the last couple of days, the most frequently asked question to me has been, what do I think about Obama and his foreign policy? Is there reason to be optimistic that we'll have positive changes around the world and especially in the Middle East? He has spoken out clearly in the campaign what his policy would be in Iraq. He wants to bring the troops home and he wants to get them out of there in 16 months. And he may draw down on those troops, but quite frankly, I don't believe for a minute that he will ever take down and remove that very offensive embassy in Iraq, nor close the military bases. So overall, I don't think the policies would change. I think if the violence escalates, which is a very significant possibility, he would be sending troops in if he had to. Americans are still being killed in Iraq, and there's still a long way to go before there's real peace in Iraq, because the Sunnis are well armed and they are not happy by being pushed out by the Shiites. So time will tell us about that. But Obama was very explicit about his foreign policy in Afghanistan. He said we should escalate in Afghanistan. We should have more troops in Afghanistan, and that's where the battle is. That's where the battle with the Al-Qaeda is in Afghanistan. But when he talks about Afghanistan, he talks about Pakistan as well, and it's very weak. The American missiles sent off by our CIA with drones ended up killing 22 civilians. So they said there were possibly a few Al-Qaeda suspects there, but some women and children were killed as well. And believe me, that doesn't go well on his diplomatic mission to work better with those individuals and our enemies in the Middle East. Matter of fact, that's the incentive for the Al-Qaeda to develop and grow. And as long as we have that policy over there, we can expect things to get much worse. Just as well, right now, Karzai was very unhappy with the Americans today, and American missiles had killed some Afghans. And he is just holding on by his strings, you know, to the presidency of Afghanistan, and that is likely to come to an end. So really and truly, policies have not changed. They're exactly the same. Escalation of war. Afghanistan will be Obama's war. But I wished I could say that, well, let's look forward. The attitude has changed. We're going to be out of Iraq, and we're going to wind down in Afghanistan, but we're in there, and we are determined to have a long-term presence in the Middle East. There's a lot of things that drives that policy, and we all know about it. The number one probably is oil. Has a lot to do with it. The neocon philosophy has a lot to do with it. Israel has a lot to do with it, as well as this idea that we have to be over there for our national security reason to fight the Al-Qaeda. But quite frankly, I am convinced, as so many other Americans are, that the reason that we have to worry about the Al-Qaeda is because we're over there. The more we're over there, and the more of the Muslims we killed, the greater the incentive there will be for Al-Qaeda to try to come and kill us. We need a significant change in foreign policy. We don't need more of the same. We need less influence of the neocons. We don't need a perpetuation of the foreign policy of the neoconservatives. And that policy, of course, is a non-interventionist, pro-American, pro-Constitution foreign policy, which means we ought to mind our own business, come home, and take care of our own business here at home. And besides, financially, that's what we must do soon.